Welcome back to Unmasked, the podcast that uncovers the thoughts, feelings, and voices of the BU community. I'm Lazowski.
And I'm Veronica Thompson. Every week, we go out and ask our peers a random, intriguing question and allow them to share their thoughts anonymously.
Our goal is to illuminate the wide variety of personalities and experiences within the student body. Thank you for joining us today.
Now let's turn it over to our field reporting segment and see what people had to say for this week's question.
I'm Lazowski.
And I'm Veronica Thompson.
And we're here today at GSU asking students another question. What is it, Ronnie?
Today we're going to ask, what is your favorite place you've traveled to and why? And if people haven't traveled, where would they like to go?
Let's go. What's your favorite place you've traveled to and why?
I'd say my favorite place I've traveled to is Edinburgh in Scotland because I went to see the Tattoo, which is like this big army bands festival. It was really, really cool.
I honestly want to go to Arkansas because I literally don't have any sense of what's there. And as an American, I feel like it's actually screwed up that some parts of American culture get so ignored in this world. So, yeah, I just want to show a little love. And also Louisiana and also Kentucky.
Well, if I could go anywhere in the world, I would go to Egypt and I would go up and down the Nile.
Damn, that's awesome.
I would very much like to go to the Galapagos.
Reason?
Because I love nature and it's all preserved and there's species there that are not anywhere else on the planet.
Okay, my favorite place that I've been to is Switzerland because I really like outdoors, and that was when I visited Switzerland, it was my first time camping out in the wild, and it was so fun. And it was also around the time when I was learning English, so it was a great way of connecting with people as well. So I really love that place and I want to visit again.
My favorite place that I've gone to is New Zealand. The main reason why I love going to New Zealand is that the milk and the meat that you get from the grocery markets are all extremely fresh, and you can just cook at home and get something that's pretty much restaurant quality. And then when you actually go into the restaurant, it's just absolutely mind-blowing.
This is extremely specific, but Harriman State Park in New York is probably the prettiest place I've been to. But I think mostly memories though. There are certain places that you just go to and they end up being extremely spiritual, even though they might seem very average to most people. But I remember I was there and I just saw tadpoles and life flourishing in a pond, and I just realized how my life my life right now isn't as, in the grand scheme of things, it's not as serious as I think it is, because nature is far more important in the bigger scope of things, and that's what I learned in that part.
So the favorite place that I've been to is a place in Brazil called Jericoacoara, and it's a gorgeous small little city that's getting industrialized now, which is kind of sad, but it's a lagoon, and so there's a bunch of high sand dunes, gorgeous sunsets, but it got ruined because so many people were going and jumping off the sand dunes, and so it got flattened out. So there's no longer these huge mounds of sand, which is really unfortunate. But it's still the most gorgeous place that I've been to.
I would like to visit Chamonix, which is in France. It's a massive ski resort. I'm a big skier myself. I've always wanted to ski in the Alps. I've done it a few times, but never been to France. So I'm going abroad next spring, hopefully. Might get a chance to do it then. So if so, that would be pretty sweet.
I think my two favorite places I've traveled to are London and Guatemala. London because I studied abroad there, so I lived there, and it has a special place in my heart. And Guatemala, I spent 2 weeks there doing a conservation project, and that was amazing. It's beautiful. I love Guatemala.
What kind of work were you guys doing there?
Turtle conservation.
My favorite place I've been to so far is Florence, Italy. It's beautiful. Everything is so nice there. I rode a Vespa there to the mountain, saw all of Florence from above. It's so pretty. But I would also really, really love to go to Switzerland.
Why?
Just the view. It's beautiful. Skiing looks so fun there. Every season looks so fun to be there and just to sightsee,
Yeah.
Did you wear a helmet when you were riding the Vespa?
Yes, actually. Safety first.
What color?
It was silver. The Vespa was also silver. So cool.
So my favorite place I've been to was the Alps. My family went in between my 8th and 9th grade. We went to Norway, Switzerland, Germany. And I think out of all those, my favorite was Norway because the scenery is so beautiful and the culture is just amazing.
What did you think about the people?
They're really nice. They're also really attractive. So
I gotta go 2 places. One is Bali in Indonesia. I went with my mom, and honestly, it's one of my favorite places because we sat on a beach for like 3 days straight, and it was also during my birthday. So honestly, like the memory of that and like kind of just like relaxing in between semesters of BU, like that was really nice. And then the other place would be, oh yeah, true. Sorry. Yes, we also did like a sunrise hike to like a top of a volcano, and that was absolutely amazing. Definitely only got 2 hours of sleep that night, but it was definitely worth the sleep deprivation. The second place would have to be South Korea, Seoul. I definitely mispronounced that, but I went there. My grandfather had an apartment there for like 20 years or 30 years that he was subletting, but it was just filled with a bunch of his stuff, and he wanted to sell it because they wanted to rebuild it. So we went there to help him clean it out, and we were there for like, I want to say like half a month or so, helping him clean and just kind of exploring the city. And yeah, that's probably 2 of the most well-known vacation places, or one of my favorite vacation places I've been to.
The reason I did not enjoy traveling to India, oh my god, was because I only went there once when I was like 10, and I think like the level of poverty that I witnessed there was just so like devastating. And I remember that there were like little kids I saw on the street who were just like abandoned because their parents like couldn't take care of them, and that was like super jarring to see as like a 10-year-old. And also we like don't have a lot of family left there, so that was like part of the problem, and it felt very like alienating to be in a country that we were supposed to like know a lot about and then like have no connection to the people there. So yeah.
Okay, so I think the favorite place I've traveled, I would say, is London, Spain, and Paris. I did a trip last summer and went all around Europe with my family. London has a lot of sentimental value since my mom's from London, so that would be why it's my favorite place. And I would say Spain and Paris are really rich in culture in very different ways, and it was really great to experience that.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword, but I went to Spain over spring break, and so I say double-edged sword because I did receive a lot of stares which were very uncomfortable, but at the same time, just like being around people who have like a slower pace of life was just amazing. That's what I want. But also seeing how women just like were able to walk around freely at night. I feel like growing up in New York, I never had that privilege. And so seeing women like in a different part of the world walk around like that so freely, I really want that. And I want to move somewhere where I can have that.
What has been your favorite place that you've traveled to and why?
I love Venice. I've been to Venice only once. I went there in 2015 on a trip to Italy, and I loved it because it was so different from anything that I've ever been to before. The canals, the kind of tight housing structures, tight walkways, and not as touristy as I expected, although maybe it was just the off-season. But the glass working and the masks, like the, not, face masks, but like, I don't know how you call it, decorative masks, were really beautiful, just beautiful artwork there, as well as the buildings, of course, very old city. So yeah, for all those reasons, just very different, and I guess I liked it. I liked the difference.
Recently in the news, there was flooding in Venice,
yes,
and a lot of the buildings have been flooded. How do you respond emotionally to that?
Well, I mean, obviously it's very, very sad. So it's, it's unfortunate that, we probably won't have some of these coastal cities for much longer, or at least for, who knows how long until it, these things actually become unlivable. But it is very sad that people are starting to be displaced by, the effects of climate change and rising ocean levels.
So we're debriefing after asking students what's their favorite place that they've been to, or where did they dream of going or would like to go. And let's ask ourselves the same question. Ronnie, where would you like to go, or what's your favorite place that you've been?
So I've only been to one place, one country outside of the U.S., which was London. And I really enjoyed being in London because I was visiting family there. And it was similar to Boston in terms of the city structure, in my opinion, but the buildings were a lot taller and the roads were narrower. And I preferred the transportation system there, the tube. I liked it much better compared to Boston. In terms of where I would like to go, my top country that I've always wanted to visit is Jamaica, because that's where my mom is from, and I want to see where the first part of her childhood was spent. And I just want to go to Jamaica for that reason. Thank you.
One of my favorite places that I've ever been, I've only been there once. It was a part of a school trip. I went to Israel for a week. It was one of the most fascinating experiences I've had in my life. It was an opportunity to see another side of the world that many, students our age or even adults our age don't get the opportunity to see. So it was a very eye-opening experience for me. Great opportunity. Saw so much culture, mixing of cultures, clashing of cultures in certain cases, but it's a hub. It's a hub for so many things, and being in a hub is one of the most interesting places to be, I think, in life in general. So very, very cool place to be. And I wanted to also mention that the tube system in London is phenomenal. Truly, it's one of the best systems I think I've seen. Very, very, very fast and very, very efficient, which is something I wish the Boston Green Line and the Red Line could replicate, but they're still working on it. So yeah, thanks for listening today, and hope to see you on the podcast back soon. Ciao.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Unmasked, presented by Boston University's independent student newspaper, The Daily Free Press. Make sure to tune in every Wednesday.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. To hear previous episodes of Unmasked, visit dfpress.co/listen for our podcast archive.
Until we meet again,
goodbye.
What's your favorite place that you've been to, or where would you like to go?
And why?
I wish this would give me enough plug, man. Jeez.
Okay.
Bro, what the Love the audio.
The universe wanted me to speak today. The universe said, "No, what is this? This is absolutely not what this bitch is." It was London for CGS. So I have to think about where I want to go. I know where I want to go.
So after asking